Can't find no work, can't find no job, my friend. Money is tighter than it's ever been. Say, man, I just don't understand what's going on across this land. Ah, what's happening, brother? Yeah, what's happening? What's happening, my man?
Welcome to the Advocator Show. My name is Nikita Williams and I am your host for today. The Advocator Show is a show that brings awareness about issues in the community that affect society as a whole, as well as to highlight local businesses and talent coming in and out of the Western New York area. We're here at Phenomenal Expressions Today taping, and we'll be right back after this short message.
Phenomenal. Do I want to be phenomenal? Do I want to be beautiful? Do I want to express myself? Oh, yes, yes, yes. I want to express, I want to let, I want to be, I want to live, I want to breathe, I want to think, I want to tolerate. I want to procreate with inside my mind the expressions that I have, take them from this paper and these forsaken lines. I want to take them outside of this margarine. I want you to wear them. I want to be gathered. I want to be collected. I want to be connected. I don't want to be rejected, but I want to inject the suggestion that jewelry is more than a suggestive figure. I want you to be comfortable in how your eyes view someone's neckline. I want to wear my wristwatch so that when you see my wrist, you don't think of the scars. You think of, is this white gold? Is this black gold? Feels quite cold. But it's a beautiful cold. Not the common that comes by way of the virus. I think I have a virus called in love, and I see someone approaching me. This expression is tall, short, fat, thin. But I'm looking at the beauty within, and I love what I see because this love hasn't been tainted by man. It's not distilled. It's raw, uncut. I want to live. I want to let. I want to feel. Do I want to express myself? Oh, yes. Let me clear my throat and be the beautiful, phenomenal expression you see, because when you see something that makes you see yourself in a different light, phenomenal is more than just a word tonight. Phenomenal is what we call ourselves. Tonight we're not human beings, we're not flesh, we're not bones, we're not death, we're not marrow, we're not doctor's appointments. We are the appointed expressions of one so phenomenal. The thoughts of one so phenomenal gathered together as part of one piece that the world can wear. Let's make the world look lovely. Let's make it look beautiful tonight. Let's be the gathered phenomenal expressions that someone beyond this world had in mind.
Welcome back to The Advocator. Again, my name is Nikita Williams, and I am your host today here at Phenomenal Expressions, 517 Main Street. And today we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Nathan Salters. Hi, Nathan.
Hey, how you doing? I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you.
First, I gotta say, your place is beautiful.
Oh,
Everyone need to come down here and visit this. This is amazing what God is doing for you. Awesome.
He is amazing, isn't he?
Amen. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Yes, he is.
So Nathan, why don't you give us a little history, a little background about what you do?
I am an ordained minister, and I serve at the Greater Refuge Temple of Christ Church, and love preaching the Word of God, passionate about God. I'm also a certified life coach, and I help people discover their life purpose. I'm also a musician. And I also am an author of 2 books. I record music. I travel the country and in some parts of different countries, touring, doing things with my band. I also am a songwriter and music producer, and I'm trying to think, did I miss anything? Oh, music teacher.
How can you miss music teacher?
Yeah, I can't miss that.
I mean, that's how I met you, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah. So, but God has been good. I know it's a lot of hats, but it's, you know, I'm a firm believer that if He gives you gifts, try to use everything He's given you to do. So that's kind of what that's a little bit about me.
Well, so for the viewing audience, if you don't know, I met Nathan Salters through his music school. He was teaching my daughter music lessons, and then I started taking singing lessons from Nathan, who forced me to do recitals.
You did good. You did like 2 or 3.
So say you. So, I took music lessons with you for what? How many years?
It was about 3.5, 4 years. You did about a total of 3 recitals, so about 3.5 years.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. And so after about 3 years, we decided that that probably wasn't the thing that I wanted to continue doing.
Right.
But now you are, going back to what you do, you have a singles ministry, am I correct?
I started at the church doing a class at our Bible Institute for singles. Okay. It's funny because the whole singles part was not something I planned at all. I just did a small teaching at our church for just a few, it was like maybe 13 singles in the little room. Word got out about this thing, and people from other churches started coming, so we had to use the sanctuary. It just started blowing up. So out of that came a book, out of that came being asked to go around and speak at other places and do different things. And that kind of is what started the maximizing the season of singleness, so it was really, so right now if somebody say, do I have a single ministry? I don't have one where I own it. I'm just a person that people call to come in and kind of share. And I just share my life experience about things that I've done in my singleness to kind of keep focused until you meet the right individual. That type of thing.
Okay. And out of that birthed something else, didn't it?
Oh, definitely it opened up the whole thing when it came to writing books, because I did not know that I had an author in me. That was, I failed English in school. So if somebody told me I was going to be an author, I'm like, yeah, right. So that book sold out 4 times. I'm actually on a new reorder, so it'll be the 5th order. And but it opened up another side of me that I didn't even know, like I said, that I had the ability to write a book. And so it definitely opened up the author part of me, and it opened up a lot. It definitely gave me a lot of exposure. I think I went to so many different places and ministered about this whole singleness thing, but it did. Definitely the author thing is one of the things that opened up for me.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so even with the author thing, as you call it, somehow along the way, you ended up becoming a coach to some degree. Because being an author and going around and doing public speaking and things like that opened up the door for. Right. Is that true? Coaching? It
seemed like I was doing it already. And I didn't know it was called coaching. I was kind of doing it. People just started asking for advice. And I started finding myself getting more passionate about helping people find their purpose so they can experience sometimes the happiness I was feeling. And it led me to say, listen, I want to do whatever I can to help a person find that. And that's what kind of led me over to, going into some certification of how to be a life coach, because I wanted to do it professionally. And so I was doing it, but I didn't have a certified something to validate it. And so when I began to research some more, I said to myself, yes, I'm a minister, but there's people sometimes who don't want it. They don't want you to beat them down with the Bible or things like that. Some people just need direction where as it relates to, am I working the right job? And I always felt like I just want a person, and once a person can find that niche, that thing that they were here for, a lot of the problems that they're looking for, it just seemed like it just starts going away when people can find what their purpose is. So the whole life coach thing was really more of me getting experience, trained on how to help people better.
Okay.
But it seemed like I was doing it naturally already, though. So, but yeah, it definitely, in that chapter, I got certified in 2015. And it was an intense program, but it really showed me how to really connect with people better. And so I'm grateful to be one.
So I'm sure that helped your ministry as well, to some degree.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. So basically, as far as your coaching is concerned, and it's primarily for singles, or no, it's for everyone?
Oh no, it's for everyone. Singles is just one group of people who should know their purpose before, because it helps them with their marriage decision.
Okay.
But married people need coaching. White, black, Hispanic, everybody need coaching, because it's really helping a person to find everyone's looking for that why am I here? And that's what it does. So it touches everybody besides singles. Singles is really just help because it makes you start to say, if I know my purpose, then why would I marry a person who is against the very thing that I'm created to do?
Wow. Well, you know what? I want you to hold that thought for a minute. We have to take a break, and when we come back, I want to, dive more in depth as far as, the single ministry.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay.
What that entails.
Okay.
So I want the viewing audience, I don't want you to change the channel. We will be right back, right after this message.
She came up and kissed me one day.
It was an impulse. I just grabbed him and I kissed him on the lips and I ran away.
Because I was like 20 years old. It's not like something you talk about marriage all the time.
But I asked for her number. She wouldn't give me her number.
No, I think he liked me first, for sure, because...
She's hot.
We met in a grocery store.
We were in a class together.
Came up to me one day and says, I got this perfect girl for you.
He was a good dancer, but not too good.
Like he was my soulmate.
She's my queen. Of course, I'm the king.
I said, I have to ask you something. And she said, what? And I kneeled down, and
She was laughing and trembling. She gets so embarrassed.
what did I say? I said, will you marry me or will you be my wife?
Will you be my wife?
He proposed to me on my birthday.
And she said, yes. Are you sure?
Sorry.
Welcome back to The Advocator. Again, my name is Nikita Williams, and I am not only your host for today, but I am the producer, the director, and the editor of The Advocator. And again, today we are here with Nathan Salters.
Man, I'm happy to be here again.
Again, thank you,
Awesome.
Nathan, for being here. Now, Nathan, when you were in our last segment, we were talking about you and your singles ministry. Why don't you give, the viewing audience a little more background about your single ministry and some words of wisdom, some advice that you give singles, when you...
The number one thing I share now, and it took me years to learn, was most single people have this concept that once I get to the altar or to the city hall, wherever, and get that marriage license and get that ring on my finger, that happiness begin. That's the number one myth single people have.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying to themselves, I need to make sure, first of all, I am prepared for it. We get training to be lawyers. We learn how to be doctors. We go to school for all this stuff. We never go to school for learning how to be mates.
Well, it's interesting that you should say that, because people don't realize that happiness is not something that someone else
Absolutely.
bring to you.
Right.
Happiness is something that you bring into
it.
the marriage.
Right. And that was where my mistake, because I was very frustrated as a single man. I was like, I gotta get married. So everything I share is really something I live, because at the same time, I know what it's like. I know what single people struggle with. I mean, I'm still single myself, so it's like I know what it's like not to be able to go home with someone. However, the only difference in the season was I know what it's like to be single without purpose, and I know what it's like to be single in purpose. And there's a huge difference.
Well, explain the difference.
The singles without purpose, they look for the relationship to define them. The singles in relationships look for a relationship to enhance them. Because the person in purpose already got their happiness within themselves because they're doing what they're called to do. And then they're just looking for help. They're looking for somebody to share that with.
Alias helpmate.
Yes. So it's a model that I use. You want to get so happy, so blessed, so fulfilled that you have to share it with somebody in marriage.
Yeah.
That's like my whole concept with this whole thing. So this is what I teach people. Other singles, they feel I need to get married so I can be happy. And that's why the divorce rate go high, because so many people are trying to get happiness from something that ain't supposed to bring it to you.
Yeah, and you know, and when you think about that, you know, you're looking for someone else to make you happy. So when they're not happy at any given moment, okay, and your whole life is depending on them making you happy, then what happens? Then that means that when they're not happy, you're not happy.
Absolutely. It's the #1 mistake we make. When I share, I'm trying to help single people say, listen, we're going to have lonely nights. We're going to be frustrated. There's going to be moments you want to hold somebody's hand. You want to go to the movies. All that comes with the journey of singleness. However, a person who don't know who hasn't found their purpose is going to be looking from relationship to relationship to fill a void that only purpose can really give you. And that's where the purpose coaching kind of came out of that, because like I said, as for myself, prior to knowing my purpose, nothing satisfied me until I said, I got to get in a relationship. Relationship was everything I thought about. The moment I found purpose, relationship was still in my priorities, but it wasn't the thing that I looked for to bring me the fulfillment. Okay. So it was like relationships is still there. It's just not the #1 thing, because purpose is what's going to make that relationship even better. So purpose is really the thing that people got to go to. And the fun thing about singleness, everybody has to be single.
At some point.
When you're born in this world, everybody got to go through singleness. Nobody skipped that season. And the reason why a lot of people get a false perspective of marriage is because they think marriage itself is going to fix the person. And really, marriage is just an open field that two people jump in, and whatever the two people bring with them, that's the kind of marriage they create. So if a person is depressed over here and the person is frustrated over here, they're going to have a frustrated, depressed marriage, because that's what they brought with them. If single people use singleness to get the depression off of them, you see what I'm saying? So the singleness is a season of saying, I need to get rid of this stuff. So when I get in there, I can be less, you're not going to be perfect, but you're going to have less baggage to bring.
Wait a minute, I need to take a drink on that one. I mean, did you hear that? I mean, I hope somebody is getting something out of that.
But this is where singles blow it, because singles, we look at the married people and we're like, man, y'all got it together. Then the married people look at the single people and be like, listen, take your time. Take your time. Don't jump in. And the single people are like, what are you talking about? You got somebody to go home to. And the married people be like, listen, I got somebody to go home to, but maybe we ain't in the same bed. So when you single and I'm married, and none of us is getting that.
Yeah, single people want to be married. Married people want to be single.
You see what I'm saying? Our perceptions is off because we're looking for fulfillment in the wrong areas. So what changed me was when I really started asking. I said, God, what is it? When He showed me my purpose, I got so busy doing my purpose that I didn't have the same frustration levels like I used to have. So definitely I want to enjoy myself with somebody, but I want to bring something to the relationship, as opposed to, man, I ain't gonna make it unless I meet her. I ain't gonna make it. Man, that's too much pressure to put on another human being. It is, because she's coming in,
with her
imperfect.
backstory. Yeah.
So my whole thing is I try to bring a realistic perspective to singles. So this is why I encourage people to read that book, my book, 7 Things Singles Should Accomplish Before Marriage, because it really talks about it's every single person. So teenagers should be reading this now. College students should be reading this now, because they need to get, and every married person I know who read that book, they validated. They said, you know what, you nailed everything that every married person. I did a research of 280 couples before I wrote that book. And these were the 7 things that they all brought out.
7 things. And what is the name of the book?
7 Things Singles Should Accomplish Before Marriage. And it's really, that book has been read by so many different people. And I get so many reports, and it really humbles me, because when I wrote it thinking, nobody go read my book because I'm not an author. I don't do this. And it was the very thing that launched my whole ministry.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you talk about purpose, and a lot of people are trying to find a purpose. A lot of people don't know what that means.
Right.
Purpose, finding their purpose. And we're going to have to, take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how do you find that purpose? And we're also going to talk about how I found my purpose.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Okay, because little do you guys know that Nathan Salters is my life coach. And so with that being said, sit back, don't change the channel. We'll be right back right after this brief message.
Different words describe different people. But in the eyes of the law, there's one that fits us all. Human right number 7. We're all equal before the law. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Again, welcome back to The Advocator. My name is Nikita Williams, and we are here with Nathan Salters, who is an author, a minister, a coach, among many other things. And we were talking about, he wrote a book, we were talking about his singles ministry. He wrote a book about the seven
things singles should accomplish before marriage.
And we would like to list those, but with the sake of time, we're not going to be able to. But let's talk about purpose again. So you do purpose coaching, and I was saying earlier that you became my life coach, and let's talk about how that all evolved. I was taking music lessons, singing lessons with Nathan, with you, and for 3 years. And then one day I just says, okay, enough, you know, and I didn't take the music lessons to become a vocalist. You know, I took them for basically confidence building, to be able to stand in front of a group of people. With that being said, I decided that one day I had had enough. And then you came to me and said, well, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, well, that's a good question.
That's true, isn't it?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Right.
And you said, sounds to me like you need life coaching. And I said, oh, really? And he was like, yeah. And so that's where it all began. Right. And you want to elaborate on that and how that?
Well, it's fun. It was funny because I saw definitely your frustration at the tail end when you were doing your vocal lessons, and I'm like, this is not the, because when you're doing something that is in your purpose, even though your body may get tired and you may have seasons where you're not, you're still alive. Purpose don't shut down. It's like you're always, it excites you. So when I saw that the excitement was in there, I said, this could be a hobby. This can be something, and this is where most people get mixed up about purpose. Most people think purpose is a hobby. So people invest energy into hobbies. So a hobby for me is basketball. You will never see me running down the NBA court. You will see me at Delaware shooting. That's a hobby, but my fulfillment in how I'm gonna live is not connected to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a difference. Michael Jordan, that's his purpose. That was his purpose. He got on there. It was his purpose to such a degree that the man ain't playing now and he's still affecting people.
True.
You know?
True.
Nobody know who I am, even though I've won some games at Delaware. Nobody don't even care because that was not my thing. It was a hobby. So singing could have been a hobby. And sometimes hobbies make you just say, well, I don't feel like going today. Purpose, you don't stop. Purpose is like, so when you came in and you were like, I don't know what I really want to do, I knew then, I said, if she finds out her niche, her purpose of why she's here, everything is going to change. And I commend you because I always tell people, a lot of people, this is a true statement, a lot of people do not think they need it. They don't think they need purpose coaching.
Right.
They think, that's stupid, I don't need that.
Purpose coaching, what do I need that for?
And that's why a lot of people are still living the way they live.
And so then we went into a session.
Right. And
the first part of that session was you had me draw a map.
Right.
About all the things that I was interested in. Mm-hmm. First I made a list about all the things that I was interested in.
Right.
And then you had me make a map.
Right. And the map is really where a lot of people miss, because a lot of people got in their mind what they want to do. But what the purpose coaching does, it literally manifests all this stuff. And this is why we sat there and we just wrote it out for a minute. We wrote it out, because sometimes people say, oh, I'm good at this. But they say it, but they never can visually see it. So just like I was sharing with you, I think in the beginning stage, you're here at 517 May.
Right.
I had to already see the destination of where I was going before I even got in my car.
Right.
If I did not know where 517 Main was, I would still be in my truck, driving around, wasting gas, wasting money, and that's what people are doing with their life. So what you did that day was you gave your life a destination, which making now your decisions more clear. And this is where most people are blowing it. So a lot of people are living, they're existing, but they're not living. People who know their purpose, they start walking in an abundant life. They start to know, okay, I need to be done at this time. I can't do this, I can do this based on where I'm going. So now the funny thing about what we did was everything that was connected to your map is things that you naturally enjoy.
Right.
There was nothing on there that would stress you out, which means all the happiness, fulfillment, the joy, it's all about helping people, and in return, you get a sense of satisfaction, a sense of wealth. You know, I look at this place and I'm like, this was already inside you all this time.
Wow.
This was, what we're sitting is an outward manifestation of what was in there when you was up there singing.
You know, it's so funny because I kept saying, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I don't know if this is what I want to do. And you said, let's pull out the map.
Right.
Pull out the map. And I pulled out the map, and everything that was in front of me was on my map, going towards my destination.
Wow. And that's how you know you're in the right route. That's what makes a person sticks within it. That's what makes a person say, you know what, I'm tired today, but I gotta get up because it's connected to my route. When a person don't have that, they give up on stuff. That is really their biggest blessing.
Yeah.
Because they don't take time to figure out, man, what am I living for? Why am I here? There is something Nikita can do that nobody else can do, and that's kind of what we started. And right now, there's no other shop like this.
That's what I'm told. It's definitely phenomenal. It's a phenomenal expression of Nikita.
Yeah.
Trust me on that one.
It got your flavor all in it, and that's what it's supposed to do. And I know we're living on time, but remember we used the analogy with the fruit.
Yeah.
That fruit it was made for a specific, it's not like no other fruit, but there's so many different things that one fruit can produce. And so here you are a producer, you do jewelry and all this, and now this store reflects all these different things in one store because you have found a outlet to be able to be free, to let your purpose shine. That's why I'm like so blown away with what you got going on. This is amazing.
And it's so funny. And the name of the store is Phenomenal Expressions. Also, Late Lucy Productions. I have a television show. I have a jewelry business. Wow. I'm a coordinator.
Wow.
I'm a decorator. I'm many things, all on my map.
Wow.
And with that being said, I want to thank you, Nathan, for coming on to my show today here at Phenomenal Expressions, 517 Main Street, Buffalo, New York. Come on down, check us out. We sell accessories, bags, handbags, jewelry, scarves, hats, you name it. We're expanding our product line. I'd love to have you come down. Would love to see you there. And again, Nathan, thank you. And let's toast. Good coaching.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
I love you with the love of the Lord.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
I love you so.
And with that, tune in again to the Advocator Show. Thank you.
Say, man.
Thank you.
What's been shaking up and down the line? I know 'cause I'm slightly behind the time.